The 6th-ranked Cal Golden Bears continue their march towards the NCAAs. Friday night, they posted their second-best score of the season in a dominant quad meet win at home. Today, some familiar foes bring their talents to Haas, including the Bears' biggest rival of them all. It's a Sunday gymnastics matinee right now. The end of the regular season has arrived here in the Bay Area. Haas quad meet number 2. Cal and Arizona State renewing their engagement from Friday night. They're joined today by Stanford and San Jose State. With the conference tourneys just a couple of weeks away, we'll focus on some stars, including some seniors for the Cal Bears. Maya Lazan, an absolute closer for this squad. A big performance in rotations 3 and 4 on Friday. Another consistent performer throughout her tenure here in Berkeley, Maddie Williams. They'll be sad to see her go. Stanford trying to knock off their Bay Area rival. Brenna Nault is a good place to start. And for Arizona State, they so often rely on the consistent nature of Emily White. To look for more of that again this afternoon. And with that, we bring you here inside Haas Pavilion, joined by the former college gymnast Evan Heider. Greg Meskel here with you. Evan, senior day here for the Bears. The emotion of saying goodbye to 5 key contributors, but you have the opportunity to score some big points.
All of the above are true. The pressure of the emotions, Cal's got to deal with that, but everyone feels the pressure of being able to affect your NQS, your national qualifying score. We'll see what they bring tonight.
Yeah, more on the numbers as we go through this afternoon. Now let's talk seniors. The first group in Cal history to win 4 straight conference titles. Doesn't matter the league, these 5 are tough to replace.
They'll leave a void for sure. Cesario, Kane, Lazan, Scanlon, Williams. They're a beautiful story of forging your own path from all-arounders to event specialists.
Maya Lazan, you talk about all-arounds, some numbers earlier this year. She closed things out in a big way on Friday.
And left herself some room to improve on a couple events as well. She is a phenomenal gymnast, 10 watch across the board for Lazan.
So often when you think about Maya Lazan, you think about MJ Frazier. She was our all-around champ on Friday.
And when her teammates need her most, she fills those voids. Huge vault from MJ on Friday night. She'll be looking to replicate that. She's phenomenal on beam and floor.
And then for Stanford, anytime you get an NCAA champ in the gym, it's a treat for all of us. Last year's vault winner, Anna Roberts.
Stanford again and again relies on Anna Roberts, her clean, consistent brand of gymnastics. She's also a phenomenal leader on and off the competition floor.
So that's your table setter. Haas quad meet number 2 on tap. A little bit of a Bay Area showdown. 3 out of our 4 teams getting ready to square off. Last meet of the regular year. Still some movement to be had amongst the NQS. We'll break it all down for you when we come back after this. Back on Friday night, the Cal Bears continue to perform at a high level. Their 17th straight win. And it was Maya and MJ coming up huge late in rotations 3 and 4 to secure the win, to move to 19 and 2 on the year and set it up for today's final meet of the year in the regular season and the double duel. If you're new to the format, here's a look. There's a lot happening at once. No more than 2 events can occur simultaneously, although sometimes it feels like there are more things happening at once. And we go in the Olympic order. NQS, it's such a big topic of conversation, especially now, Evan.
I'm not going to call it a phenomenal quest toward the NQS. Won't do that to you. But the name of the game here is better your best. Get a new score incorporated into your NQS breakdown. Cal will be looking to better their best. It's at 197.775.
And again, the opportunity at home, a big one for Cal. Your best home score gets dropped, so why not try and go a little bigger if they can here, as we'll get it started with Maya Wiley on the vault. You see on the right side of your screen our list of rotations.
Debuted in this leadoff position Friday night. Yurchenko 1.5. Controls the landing there for Wiley. Not as good of an outing as Friday night, but another important competitive rep for her in that leadoff spot.
And then quickly to the bars on Paula Gutierrez.
Crisp form in the straddled Jaeger down to the overshoot on the low bar. aggressive back up here. Important for her to get enough distance away from the bars. And nails it, zeroes in, double front, half out. Great job in the leadoff for Stanford. Last time they were in this building, it was huge for the card.
So vault bars, you see top of your screen there on the right side paired together. Now over to the beam. Kayla Lee gets Arizona State started. Then we'll see the Spartans on floor.
Displaying her flexibility here as Devin Valek steps onto floor. Split lead into the full turn. Love that rhythm from Lee on the left side of your screen. She's going to set up here for a big test, tumbling series. Flip-flop, flip-flop, layup back, step out, front double full from Valek on the right side of your screen. Lead off triple series for the Sun Devils. Great difficulty on display. Switch half Popa, deep combination from Valek of San Jose State. Deep jump, sheet jump. Emily Lee is putting on a clinic so early for the Sun Devils. Valek, 1.5 front leg. We see those combination passes. You want the ultimate skill to culminate in the highest point of the tumbling pass. And speaking of high points, Kayla Lee with the 1.5 twist off beam gets things started for the Sun Devils in a big way.
So floor will look to wrap before we move on to the next as Devin Volush into her move.
Volush with a flourish in the 3-pass routine, ready to close. Solid number in the books for San Jose State.
And again, we'll keep you updated. Scores are coming in on the right side of your screen. So Wiley in there with a 9.825 and now Kyan Mayhew.
We talked about the curation of this lineup. So Wiley did not go as high as she did on Friday. Mayhew will have an opportunity to pick up the slack. Another 1.5. There you go. Oh, man. Held onto it, and that's a learning opportunity. Crucial to settle in. She had that stick, but you saw, could not control it, ended up taking a step forward. Unfortunate for Mayhew, but great to see her zero in on the landing as she did, even but for a moment.
Sienna Robinson out for Stanford. I gotta ask, how long does she have to hold?
1 second with your arms above your head. Straddle Jaeger from Robinson here. We'll see it again, that same 1 second, arms extended above your head. Absorb. 1. Got it. There you go. No doubt at all. Beautiful display from Robinson. Liked her point of release on that dismount as well as the form throughout that full twisting double tuck.
Arizona State now, Chloe Siaga.
Siaga following the 9.85 of Kayla Lee in the leadoff.
Olivia Reardon prepping for floor.
Full turn to start for Siaga on the left. Still waiting for the number of Volush to come in. Here we go. Siaga's series. Flip-flop layout. Done with intention and effortlessness, as well as fully extended legs. Just what you want to see. Popa to start on floor for Reardon. Switch side leap, culminating in that jump leap combination for Siaga. Side aerial, tiny bit short of rotation. On the left side of your screen. Tries to get her chest up as quickly as possible. 180, not accomplished on the first jump in that combination. The straddle quarter was better there. Gainer back pike off the end and gets hung up in the air, short of rotation. Arizona State will have some work to do. Joining Reardon after that 1.5 front lay opening pass. Looking to improve upon the 9.7 of Volush. Round off flip-flop, double back. Unsure of the landing. Large lunge back. Stays on her feet, important for San Jose State early on.
Some scores coming in. Volusia 9-7. That's below her season average of 9.742. Meanwhile, shout out Sienna Robinson setting a career best here on the bars with a 9.9. Her prior had been 9.85 as Casey Brown is up next.
Speaking of career moments, she put this 1.5 back in for the first time this season. Looks to improve upon the landing. There you go, Casey Brown. And as you can see, she traveled beyond that boundary line. This lets the judges know that she's out of alignment and invites deduction in, unfortunately. Also short of rotation, took a step back. Cal will look to rebound in the last three.
Brennan Nault now up on the bars for the Cardinal.
Maloney Pack Salto combination. Solid through the half pirouette, gets it back up to the high bar. Big momentum building opportunity. Toe on toe off. Into the full pirouette, double tuck, look! Short of rotation, left her shoulders tiny bit in front of her hips. Had to take that step forward. She's disappointed. Knew she was that close to a stuck landing.
Caroline Lichtman now for the Sun Devils.
Sun Devils, important lessons to learn on the road. That 9-2, obviously what they're focusing on dropping in their 5 counting scores. Caroline Lichtman right here sets up for her series right off the top. Flip-flop layout. And gymnast over gymnast. She took that layout step up higher. Inside full turn there. Nice variety in this exercise so far.
Ava Johnson up and now on floor. And it must be noted she is channeling the Beastie Boys and Brass Monkey, Evan.
No sleep. For Ava, she gets this going. Lichtman did that switch leap, straddle quarter, floaty front aerial into the beat jump. Running front double full, takes a step a bit overcooked in terms of rotation. You can see how she stepped kind of forward and to the side. Had extra rotation there. Lichtman dismounts, 1.5, hop forward. Nice chest position as she brings it back down there. Innovative Anodi into the choreography. Gotta respect from Ava.
We're getting the Beasties anthology right here.
Covering all the bases. She'll look to do the same with the front twisting, adds the Rudy into the back layout for a combination pass. Nice control on that one. Reardon with that large, uncontrolled double tuck before her, 9.65. That should get them back on track and up over that 9.7 mark.
And now MJ Frazier.
We mentioned her off the top. MJ had one of the best vaults in her career on Friday evening, and Casey Brown took a hit up with that 9.775, so MJ needs to do exactly what she did on Friday. The double full, and controls it. Had a lot more power. Again, bigger hop than we saw on Friday, but rights the ship for Cal. That'll get them up over that 9.8 mark comfortably.
Ava Sorrento up next on bars for Stanford after the Nault score of 9.825. So that's the one to drop.
Yeah, 9.825. You saw that dismount short of rotation as well as the landing deduction. So that's what Brennan Nault was a little disappointed for, but they have 3 more athletes to get those numbers in. Toe on toe off into the Maloney. Look at the foot and ankle form. At least on the Maloney, Pack Salto saw some space between and around the side on the half pirouette. Important handstand here. Yep, a little bit rushed, maybe on the edge of that 10-degree window. And another short of rotation and hop forward for Stanford. They need to settle down a bit, especially on these landings.
That's been her specialty. The only event Sorrento has competed in is now Kimberly Smith up on the beam.
Kim Smith is one of those Arizona State athletes, young in their lineup, getting a ton of competitive reps this season, settling in as they'll have gaps left by Clark and White in their lineup, and for Smith to fill those voids. Flip flop, layout, step out. Clark's feet coming over the top, but undeniably right down the center.
Smith, a true all-around threat for this Sun Devil squad, as you highlighted.
Sets up your standing layout, step out into deep jump. Nice acrobatic wrist, but again, as you saw that second leg come up and over, but definitely flex. Want to see just extension through the ankle. That will add to the aesthetic value of that skill in the routine overall.
Out of the floor for San Jose State and Jade Lopes.
Straddle quarter is Smith moves through some sideways choreography on the beam. Johnson before Lopes, 985. Big momentum here for San Jose State. Full twisting double tuck for Lopes. Great E-pass, and Kim Smith on the left-hand side of your screen nailed the 1.5 dismount. We mentioned it on Friday. You can see the athletes who are comfortable projecting up, off, and out from the floor in the choreography. He's a seasoned competitor. Unfortunately, I feel just short of the 180 on those straddle positions. Nice height. Just needs to let the straddle position rise up a tiny bit more there for Lopes.
Maddie Williams now on tap here for the Bears.
Justin Howell telepathically saying, stick the full, Maddie. Lopes finishes with a double tuck. Here's the Yurchenko full from Williams. Tidy landing. Heels shift back ever so slightly. Great for her following the 9.875, but Cal hasn't been in the 9.9s yet. Lopes again. Nice momentum set by Johnson before her. That double tuck was high up in the air, kicked out a little bit early. Chest position was low. She got it up quickly, but that'll be deduction.
And now Anna Roberts on the bars here, the vault champ from a year ago. But here she goes on the bars.
Aggressive through that first handstand down to the pack salto. That one as well. Tiny ankle separation through the Van Leeuwen. Watch it how her legs snap together, and that is a double layout, making up for some errors on dismounts before her. Very nice for Anna Roberts there.
Love the reaction. Knew she stuck that landing. Now Sarah Clark to the beam.
Mentioned it on Friday, but Sarah Clark is elite gymnastics experience, highest level of competition. Highlights that style throughout this routine. And remember, the pressure is on for all of these Sun Devil athletes in this balance beam rotation. Following the fall, next four, target to hit.
And we go back to the floor for San Jose State and Madison Gustaitis.
Triple series for Sarah Clark. Very nice, echoing Kayla Lee's leadoff. Flip flop, layout, step out. Big test here. Straddle quarter. Smooth so far for Clark. Gustaitis, opening pass. Handspring into the double pike. Chest position great. Decides to go for the cold stick. Tiny shift forward, but nice amplitude and dynamics on that double pike. Sarah Clark, front aerial into the beat jump. Notice her trailing leg. Bent ever so slightly. Long setup for this dismount. Gainer full off the side, but shoulder stacked right over the hips for Sarah Clark. No landing deduction there.
Getting towards the end of rotation one here, you can see the scores coming in lower right as they're tallying up for each team.
Two scores over 9-8 for San Jose State. They would love to have a third and fourth in the books. That's unfortunately not going to do it. Kicked out early. Looks to be a bit tired at the end of that one. It's a grueling season. Freshman Gustaitis settling into college gymnastics. Great potential for them in the future.
And now Maya Lazan on to close out the vault here for the Bears.
final time in Haas. It's been magic before for Lazan. One of the best Yurchenko 1.5s in the country. Wanted it so badly and got a little bit behind herself there on the landing as well. That 1 second hold would be a quick one for Lazan today. Very clean in the air, straight down the lines, but definitely some opportunity to improve. So not swinging as big as they did, at least on vault, for the Bears tonight.
Cardinal now turn to the freshman Ui Soma to close out their run on bars.
Look at that handstand from Soma, the freshman. She's creating a buzz with her aggression on those handstand positions. She'll do it again here. Wow. This is exactly where you want to be. Another one here, closes it up, and wow, it's like a flower blooming up to that vertical position. If she can stick, this will be huge. Ui Soma in the anchor for the card. Wow. Following in 9-9, that's going to be a huge number.
Tremendous effort from Ui Soma. Got the crowd involved on that one as now Emily White to the beam.
Ui Soma, we saw on the double layout from our angle, leg separation throughout that dismount, but from the side where the judges are sitting, not sure that they're going to pick up on that. So again, watching that number for Stanford's anchor and Emily White here. Critical, kind of a redemption series. You saw that back foot kind of skid around, got her chest up nicely and controlled with her arms, settling into the landing. Remember, uncharacteristic fall on Friday from her.
Ava East now for San Jose State to close out their floor contingent.
Again, the front aerial. Big break for Lee at the hips. Keeps it moving. Salvaging every 10th. It's important. Split loop to ring with head release. Double tuck there for Ava East. Tap danced a little with the feet, but the chest position was nice. Got good set up into the air on the double tuck. Emily White setting up for the dismount here. Another big setup for the Sun Devils. A little bit long, but when it looks like that, it's a great ending. She knows there's opportunity to improve. Took a tiny step forward on the flip-flop 1.5 dismount.
And that Soma score is in. It's a big one, 9.95.
Huge for the card, 49.425. They love it in Haas.
Some Stanford folks made the trip across the bridge.
With the East getting encouragement from a few teammates in the corner. Running front layout into the Rudy, sets that one up nicely. Again, the second skill should always rise up, be a little bit higher. Like her technique to allow time and patience, floating that Rudy up.
Freshman from Texas closes out our first rotation. Waiting for scores from East and White. That's the third time this season that Stanford and Cal have gotten together. It's been wins for the Bears the first two times around, but a good start for the Cardinal. They will depart with a very good start.
Yes, it was exactly what Stanford wanted to do. We saw it in some of those early routines. Dismount, steps, hops, but then they got it right back on track. Optimizing for minimal deductions throughout the rest of that exercise.
So it's the Cardinal with the lead as we are just getting going here in this matinee meet. We'll take a timeout and come back to Berkeley after this.
You know I'm loving it. We having fun with it.
Your ACC champs, doesn't matter the conference, they stay winning. Year one of the ACC. The trophy's in the building, by the way. It was just outside the gym here. Fans could walk by and say hello to the ACC trophy. And now let's talk San Jose State, and we'll welcome in the head coach of the Spartans, Joanne Bowers. Coach, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having us.
Coach, first things first, look back at your group going through floor. Started to build there, culminating with Ava Johnson, the high water mark. your thoughts on the opening rotation?
Truthfully, we're excited. Floor has been a harder event for us this year. We've had a couple kids out hurt and a lot of people that are getting great opportunities, but we feel like we're trending up right now. But that is an event that we have struggled on a little bit. So for us to start with how we did today here, we were super excited to start that way.
Coach, you talked about the mix of newcomers as well as veterans. Jade Lopes is a performer.
Yes.
Talk about what she's meant to this program and what you saw from her on floor today.
Jade being a fifth year for us, she has just been a great leader, great captain. She practices hard every day. She cares. She holds our standards really high. She's always trying to do the little things to get her scores up, and she's pushing everybody else to do the same thing. And she's just such a doll to have on the team. We're going to miss her.
And the youth can learn from example. Talk about what your freshman and sophomore class brings to the table.
Oh my gosh, that's half our team. We had 6 freshmen, we have 5 sophomores, and they're competing a lot. And they are getting so much experience, and I just feel like they're getting better all the time, and our future is bright.
Great to see that development across the board. Now 3 events left.
Yes.
Heading to vault next. What do you want your athletes to be focused on most?
We keep talking about going big and then working on controlled landings on every event. We don't want them trying to be perfect, go for the big stick, and then maybe be short. It's like, no, go big, then work on the controlled landings. So that's what we're working on everywhere.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. You know, you also have the conference meet coming to your place soon, so best of luck with that.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right, Coach Joanne Bowers, the Spartans, joining us here. They'll be hosting the Mountain West Championship as we look at our scores through one rotation, and Stanford ahead of the field. Cal right there, and Arizona State, San Jose State pretty tight as well, Evan.
Indeed. I mean, Cal, they're going to have to play catch up a little bit here, but if there's one place they'll feel comfortable and confident doing it, it's in Haas. And they're heading to bars where they are creme de la creme of the nation.
Let's look back at some of our highlights. We start first with MJ Frazier on the vault.
This Yurchenko double full, again, twice in one weekend. Critical for her to get under her belt. Nice height and distance, but that hop was significant there.
And Maya Lazan closing things out here.
Yeah, her final Yurchenko 1.5 in Haas. Not her best, but settles in, scoots those feet back. Again, covers such distance, just like MJ Frazier.
Bars, Anna Roberts putting it together here on the bars.
This was a tone-setting exercise. That was the only blip in terms of on-apparatus form on the Van Leeuwen. The ankles there, but watch that double lay. Another angle. Ooh, when it's good, and Anna Roberts nailed it tonight.
And then Uwe Soma made him say, ooh, look at this result.
Like I said, she has created a reputation for herself where she what? Stalls it out on the handstands again and again. When she can follow it up and match the dismount to that performance, it's great. Oh, wow. Zeroes and gives herself all day to settle in there for the landing.
Pretty stuff there from Soma, and a major reason why the Cardinal are in front through the first rotation. What sort of strength do you have to hold those handstands up high?
I mean, it's balance, it's wrist, it's the tiny little muscles you don't even know you have in your forearms while maintaining the pressure through your shoulders. It's a difficult balancing act, to say the least.
And if you're a Stanford fan, only a freshman, so more where that came from. More gymnastics here. Rotation 2's up next. You see where we're headed for the Spartans, the Bears, the Card, and the Sun Devils. We're back after this timeout. We have you covered on Selection Sunday once again. It all starts at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with SportsCenter on ESPN. Recently, guys, look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced, followed by bracketology with breakdowns of each region. At 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed with bracketology and a complete breakdown at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN2. But the one we're interested in, from basketball to beams and bars, here's our gymnastics tournament bracket watch. 2 important things to consider here, Evan. Your first round buys on the left, top 28 and better, get those, and then just trying to make the show, your top 36.
Indeed, NQS is how they make it happen. Arizona State, they're sitting at 26, right behind a Penn State team that was decimated by injuries, somehow finding a way in State College. But Arizona State, what they can rely on is they set a season high inside Haas Pavilion on Friday night. They'll want to keep doing what they're doing.
And we just saw Washington on Friday. They are right on the outside looking in. Don't forget to check out our gymnastics selection show on March 24th, live on ESPNU. From 36 to the top 16, let's take a look at these numbers. And Stanford, they're at 13. Cal, of course, in at 6 right now, so they're in really, really strong shape. Cardinal, we talked about the opportunities. Look at how tight these numbers are. There is a chance for some movement.
Indeed. The name of the game this year in NQS and across the board is parity in scoring. It barely exists. So it's not to say that, you know, a hop, a step, holding those dismount positions, it's like, oh, you'll get them next time. May not be that many more next times there. So everything these teams are doing has the influence for the tenths, the hundredths that they need and want.
And then here's Arizona State. They're trying to hang on to that first round bye. Again, 28 is the cut line there, so Illinois knocking on the door. They know they have this opportunity, of course, and then looking at their Big 12 championship tourney.
Yep, it's important to recognize these lessons, embrace this pressure, put yourself in the position you want to be in, control your gymnastics. So many times we hear athletes, coaches saying, just want to do my normal. That normal has to raise to a postseason level and quick.
Yeah, it's funny, we so often hear the staffs talk about, look, there's no offense, defense, we're not competing against them, but you look at these numbers and you can't start but thinking about the head-to-head nature of this.
And you got to play the game, whether or not you want to call it offense, defense. Getting a look at Volush on vault. Quick Yurchenko full as we join the competitive lineup in the second rotation. Nice push off the table, and that Yurchenko full saw some form and the hop back there. She starts them off on the first two events.
See our lineup here on the right side of your screen. Vault and bars working together, then beam and floor. And now the Cal Bears and Maya Lazan.
Maya Lazan, interestingly, the only event she has not scored a 10.0 on in her career that would give her the gym slam is uneven bars. She's come very close, especially this season. We're always on 10 watch for Lazan, but her final one in Haas could be something special. Great handstand up to the high bar, pack salto down. Aggressive handstand on the low bar as well. Van Leeuwen there. Ankles, toes, feet together. Sets it up here. Full twisting, double tuck to the stick for Lazan. It's going to be close.
10?
It's going to be close. Lead-off 10s are even more rare than those at the end of the lineup. We'll see what they do.
Here's Claire Dean now, the junior from Piedmont for the Stanford Cardinal.
So solid as Claire Dean, almost always on autopilot through that aerial layout, step out combination. Let's see a bit more lift on the aerial. Head was a bit close to the beam there, but her extension through her legs, through her toes. Attention to detail. So trademark Stanford Cardinal.
And then here's Perler, the sophomore from Missouri.
Lily Perler, double pike, steps forward there. Round off 1.5 for Claire Dean. No doubt that she got that dismount hold in. Solid start for the card. Tiny blips on the radar screen, but no major breaks. Perler, Rudy to that double stag, and this is a great angle. You saw that jump at the end travel backwards. Ultimately, ideally, you want it to go straight up and down, using that momentum and force after the Rudy.
No 10 on the bars there, Evan, at 9.925.
9.925 is kind of Maya Lazan's 10 on bars. She's come such a long way on this event, and anytime your leadoff performer is scoring over a 9.90, you'll take it. Joining Olivia Reardon on vault. Oh, that was great technique to open up in the layout half. Another different vault here, joining Perler. Solo on the screen, front layout, front full. finishes things up for the Sun Devils in a big way. She is pumped about it. Solid landings all around. I'd like to see that final pass, that front full rise up, just like we're seeing after these 1.5 front layouts.
Here's MJ Frazier, Lazan, by the way, equaling her season best on the bars. A little shy of her career best.
Here we go for MJ. Low bar handstand. Toe on, toe off. To the Maloney. Legs come apart for just a flicker. Good rhythm to the Pac Salto. Joining Temple Landry on the right side of the screen. Solid last handstand from Frazier. She stuck this on Friday. Just a scoot back tonight. Keeps the momentum going. 9.825 before Landry from Claire Dean. Sets up for her series. Flip off, layout, step out. Again, as we see similar series, gymnast over gymnast, you can tell which ones allow that layout step out to rise up. And speaking of rise, that ring position, she releases her head back. Very nice.
Ali brought flat to the floor for Arizona State.
Opportunity to impress with flexibility, also to breathe for Landry. Full in from bra flat. Scoots back, both front foot and back foot. Gainer back pike off the end, nails it. The nod from Landry in the second spot for the card.
Landry, the specialist, beam is her event. The sophomore from Minnesota. Scores coming in now. Reardon a little bit better than Volush on vault. Now San Jose State back to the vault again. We'll see Caviana Juries.
Juries on vault. Another Yurchenko full. Big push up. Can't quite control that landing. Large, I would say, over shoulder width, pace back. Straight down the lines, though. Here we go for bra flat. Like the dynamics and the technique. She had a beautiful position in the front layout. Floor came up big quick. Looks like it surprised her. Skidded back a little bit. Series of Popa jumps to close.
Annalise Newman-Achi, see her numbers on the bars. Up third here, getting hyped up by Maya Lazan, sharing some thoughts.
Annalise made her competitive debut on this event this season. One thing I want to see from this athlete is her ability to embrace pressure, to say, hey MJ, I know you have a 9.9 plus routine all day. Today wasn't it, 9.85, I got you. I have your back. We'll see how aggressive she goes. Through the toe on, toe off, up to the Maloney, Pac Salto. Feet come apart there. Quick through the half pirouette. Yeah, short on that handstand as well. She needs to really zero in on this dismount. Typical step back, solid for Annalise. Nothing to be mad at with that routine. Leave something to be desired, though. Be looking to notch into those 9.9s again, just as Lazan did with the back three.
Here's the junior Ashley Carter out of Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Triple series straight down the beam, but you saw those feet start to shift around a little bit. Used her core to stabilize everything. Got it back under control.
She's looking to improve upon a low number against Denver on Friday, 9.525. She's been much better than that throughout the year.
Outstanding performer on the right side of your screen, Jada Minga-Haas. Straddle half, big bobble, full in from Minga-Haas. Like the fight on that landing position, keeps the front foot planted. Repeats the skill. Straddle half into straddle. Needs that for her. Required connection. Here we go. It's gainer full off the side. Zeroes in on the landing. All right. Controls that flicker of nerves there. Gets things back on track for Carter. Bra flat drops below that 9.8 with the 9.725. We talked about the skids on the feet. Chest position on her opening full end. Mangahas with the front tuck, step out, double tuck. Very nice position there. Front foot slid back. So another landing consideration for the Sun Devils here. Beautiful switch half, wolf, wolf, full.
Michaela Pitts.
Dynamic attempt there. Overcooks it. Disappointed there, but Coach Joanne Bowers talked about cultivating that difficulty through their young athletes. So important rep to get out, but never what you want to see. So the rest of their lineup will have to land with purpose.
Cesario, some words of encouragement again from Lazan. Did you enjoy when teammates would offer some confidence, some hype to you?
I don't think I gave them the opportunity for that. A, because I wasn't competing that much, and B, because I was the one losing my voice at a moment's notice. So here we go with Ella Cesario, but you're listening to somebody like Maya Lazan, your senior compatriot. Definitely want to listen to it. Straddle Jaeger down to the overshoot. It's simple, but it's elegant and floaty. Stick it. There you go. Senior-like performance on senior day for Cesario.
Seeing some of that emotion from senior day too. She knew that's the last one here in Haas.
And the emotion is what you make of it. It could be the positive or the negative push in that direction. Great to see another veteran competitor with her triple series flip up, lay out, step out for Brennan Olt. Nothing under 9.8 for Stanford so far. Not quite that momentum that they had built up on uneven bars, but three competitors, phenomenal competitors, still to come.
Back to the floor for Arizona State, Kim Smith.
Beat jump, ring jump, softness in the front knee from my angle. Mangahas uses that E-pass opener to notch a 9.85 before her. Nice position. I could see a double layout in Kimberly Smith's future. Scoots back on the double pike today as Nolt zeroes in, riding the dismount from bars with that great performance on the 1.5 off beam. Smith front full into front layout. Looking a bit ahead of herself on that pass. Doesn't matter if it's coming before or after, you want to see that third or second skill, depending on the combination, rise up, still get a great extended front layout position, safely to her feet. Solid angle to see the full 180 split.
Madison Kirsch, by the way, on fault for the Spartans.
Kirsch and her 1.5 twisting tuck to Yurchenko have been clutch for so many seasons in San Jose. Kimberly Smith, the double tuck to close, confident position as she jumps right into the lunge.
Cesario entered a 9.9, surprised?
Not at all. For Ella, that 9.9 plus score is always the potential, but unfortunately, we've seen her come up short on that dismount, so for her to zero in, this gives her confidence moving forward.
Here's Maddie Williams. By the way, we'll show you the exhibition from Ondine Achampong at the end of the bars here. That should be something to watch coming up shortly.
Aggressive first handstand into the Pac Salto for Maddie Williams. Wow, look at that form on the Van Leeuwen. Another aggressive one. She says, look at that, Uisoma. Can she do the double lay? For the senior with the stick, Maddie Williams. Greg, the Bearheads coming out on senior day. Anna Roberts having to work through the ovation inside Haas. Keep a look over there at the score. I mean, I didn't really see much at all to be deducted. Aggressive handstands, and talk about aggression. Switch leap into split leap.
Often tell us we're on 10 watch, so we'll wait for that number to come in.
Stay ready when we're in hospital.
We don't have to get ready.
Flip flop, layout, step out for Roberts. great example of the amplitude, the extension through the legs, as well as paying attention to the foot form. Side aerial. Oh. I was going to say was super aggressive with her arms, and it betrayed her a little bit. Dipped below with one shoulder, and then it's kind of a chain reaction, but also can't forget to talk about Haley Gregoire. Her tucked full in, just like Rafla and Mengahas. Big E openers, and wow, look at that extended gainer full off the side. Again, minimizing what happened up on the beam with no additional landing deduction. I think she's kind of like, what just happened up there? Definitely not typical. And Coach Tabitha Yim talking her through it as we get back to Gregoire.
Score coming in, 9.95 for Williams, so not quite the 10.
Your half-tenth is my half-tenth is, you know, hard to say, but senior day, great performance regardless for Maddie Williams.
Equals her season best.
Booty into the back layout with Gregoire.
Jardine Lopes now on vault.
Does the 1.5. Gutsy performance from the 5th year. Significant tuck in her legs as she comes around specifically in that last half rotation, but another 10-0 start value vault, setting an example for future seasons in San Jose.
And now on to Casey Brown as the Bears close it out on bars.
Casey Brown debuting some new construction in this bar routine this week. Want to give her time to be patient on those handstands. That first one is a great indicator. And wow, so often we see some flickers of form on those transition elements. None to be seen here for Brown. This could be huge. Toe on, toe off. Zeroes in. Wow, the Bears are nailing it on bars today.
Seems to be contagious now. Every landing, next level. Now Sienna Robinson. Don't forget a Champagne exhibition coming up on bars here for the Bears.
Sienna Robinson has found herself in 3 events consistently this season for the card. All with 9.9 plus potential. Another one of those athletes with elite experience. She sets up for her series. The flop layout, step out. You could tell right from the beginning, the back handspring started to drift over. Did well, she was aggressive, really went for it, tried to pull it back on in the layout, but no getting back on when you're that far over. On the right side of your screen, this is Emily White, anchoring after a trio of 9.85s. Watch this front double full, zeros in, right to the jump. That is precise gymnastics, nothing to take away on that. Split half turned and perpendicular to the beam. Nice difficulty and variety from Sienna Robinson as she gets things back on track. They'll now definitely be counting that 9.6 of Anna Roberts. So again, as Roberts could have just said, oh, it's a wash, had this big break, fighting for everything because you're not sure what's going to happen in the routine following you. Gutsy performance for the card, but they'll be looking to improve upon what happened here on beam. Emily White's next pass, 1.5, front layout, covers a lot of ground in the front leg, very stable and secure. She steps into the lunge.
Right side of your screen preparing for an exhibition from Undina Champagne as Emily White wraps up her floor routine.
Forks were up for Emily White. That's a very strong rotation. Those 3 consecutive 9.85s. Authoritative.
You were excited for this one, Evan.
I am in good company with the anticipation of Undine Champagne on uneven bars. We saw her get her start on balance beam a few weeks ago. This, again, is such a clinic of beautifully performed skills. From Maloney up to high bar, through the pack salto. So the legs flicker apart, and ooh, yeah, getting her arms and feet underneath her, so to speak, and deep through the knees there. All right, for Undine, you could tell she's taking that sigh of relief as we saw her do in the exhibition, saw unbalanced beam. So now, again, this is an important moment for Cal because as we went through that exercise, you could tell the potential is there. Now just got to refine it a little bit. Only have to do the first one once.
Again, making her collegiate debut just a few weeks ago, so it is ceiling tremendously high for a Champagne.
And as we've seen
things internationally too.
As we've seen with Cal, they're not afraid to play with these lineups as we approach the end of the season. They know that they have a lot of options behind the competitive lineups that we're seeing on a daily basis.
So a dip from Stanford on the beam. Cal bars their best event. They shine right there and pull back in front after 2 rotations. So we will take a timeout. 2 rotations complete here in Haas. Home team on senior day. They pull in front. Stanford second. Arizona State, then San Jose State. We're back after this timeout. Check in on the rankings. Top 10 coming into the week. Again, subtle changes after Friday, but here's where Cal sits. Little movement amongst these top 10 available after this weekend and then going into the conference tourney. And now today's scores, Cal making the move there in rotation 2.
Relying on that bars rotation, you know that assistant coach John Carney would be very happy with what the Bears displayed there, specifically their seniors.
And only fitting that the seniors have come to deliver on senior day.
Indeed, the 9925 machine that Maya Lazan has built, refined, and put into action this season continued to produce today. Look at the aggression there, exactly what you want from the table setter, and zeroes in. She said, hey seniors, let's do it this way.
And once they got rolling on the bars, it seemed to just get contagious. It led to one great finish after another.
Exciting to see Ella Cesario settle into this. We talked about the floatiness on each of those skills and that aggressive final handstand. She's had some missed opportunities on this dismount, but capitalized on the energy in Haas today on this double layout. Great view, see it rise up, see it, and settles in.
Just love the energy too after that landing, and Maddie's love Willis.
You know, I think this could have been a 10. I'm interested to see in this replay if there's any moment, and I'm still not seeing it. Look at the aggression in that handstand. Her double layout, one of the best in the biz, and a stick. Another look at the dismount here for the Bay Area senior. Wow, possibly a little bit deep in the knees, but that is, quite frankly, not it.
Looks super clean there, but not given the 10. And now to Stanford and Brennan Nault, and she came through the 9-9 on the beam.
Indeed, Brennan Nault, like we said, she's one of the stalwarts. Anytime she steps into the competitive lineup for Stanford, she hit that triple series, really did well to put Stanford on track. They had some unexpected blips later in the rotation, though. They'll look to rebound.
Rotation 3 is on tap. Here's our order. Sun Devils will get us going on the vault when we return. Tonight at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app, we'll have our Nothing But Net men's and women's selection special, where we break down the NCAA basketball tournament, brackets, and preview all the games the ACC teams are playing in. Our scores through 2, Cal moving in front, Stanford giving chase, ASU, and then San Jose State as we prep for rotation 3 with Arizona State leading us off on the vault, Spartans on the bars, Bears on the beam, and Stanford to the floor.
Yeah, Cal coming back in a big way with that bars rotation. Uncharacteristic vault start, but proving that they can right the ship.
Beam leaders here overall, top 10. Cal, so good, so consistent across multiple events, and Of course, no surprise, they're in the top 10 here on the beam.
Co-head coach Elizabeth Crandall Hall, we just got a glimpse of her. She breathes balance beam among all things gymnastics, but especially balance beam. And you see that in every detail that her competitors display. Lichman on vault can tell you she landed a solid Yurchenko full. She was ready for that one.
Now Jade Lopes to the bars for San Jose State.
Coach Bowers told us how important her fifth-year leadership is to this team, setting that example for generations and underclassmen to come to San Jose. Mounts to the low bar, aggressive first handstand, toe on, toe off, knee form so far. Flickers on the Maloney as she regraphs for the overshoot. Squat on. Would love to see that executed with straight legs. She can definitely do it. Has that dynamic ability. A slight doubt in the last rotation of the full pirouette, but the double tuck, no doubt about it. Jade Lopes puts it down for the first routine stick.
Spartans are going to bounce back. They lost to Oregon State last time out in their senior meet. And again, as Coach Bowers shared, they've got their conference championship coming to their place. So the excitement around bringing that big meet home as we now move to Ella Cesario on the beam.
Here we go for Ella. As we mentioned on Friday, Cal gets a bit formulaic with how they display the elements here. Claire Dean joining us on the right side of the screen. Full turn from Ella, very solid so far. Sets up for the series here. Flip-flop layout. Wow. Ella is on, riding that high from uneven bars, using it to her advantage. Senior energy, crucial here. Switch half, as good as Ella Cesario can do. Claire Dean Tinsica to Rudy opener. With that projection and intentional facials. Not just looking around, wide-eyed to do it. It's choreographed into it. Big closer here for Cesario. Floaty, 1.5. The senior's got another.
Has really tapped into the energy on this senior day, and it is lifting her to some exceptional performances.
Great to see from Ella. We talked about using it to your advantage. Critical to permeate across the team. 1.5 front full for Claire Dean. Well controlled. We saw the step forward was right in line with her body. No extra rotation present. Ellie Bra flat. Yurchenko full. Hops back. Big height and distance. And she sets up one of my favorite Yurchenko fulls in the nation. Kimberly Smith in the third slot as Claire Dean wraps up as she's so good at doing in the leadoff for Stanford.
Olivia Reardon up next for San Jose State.
Hasn't posted yet, but Lopes ahead of her. 9-7. Cast right over. And sometimes you just can't fight to get it back. Your body's too far out of control. It's easier to hop down, so she'll start from scratch here. Doesn't go quite as aggressive, doubting herself a little bit. Yeah, working a bit out of sorts through those elements, so she'll take a moment, re-chalk.
And this has got to be tough, and you've talked about it from time to time, but how you have to mentally get back to it when you don't start anywhere near the way you want to start.
Yeah, I mean, life lessons. Gymnastics teaches them anywhere you're looking. Unfortunate things are going to happen, and it's you know, how quickly can you move on?
Maddie Williams up on the beam for Cal. So the struggles continue for Reardon, unfortunately.
Yeah, Reardon's off her mental game. She'll continue the exercise. We'll give you her score when she comes in. Senior spotlight shining now on Maddie Williams, following the 9-9 leadoff from Ella Cesario. Front aerial, split jump. Any doubt in the air as she was airborne in that jump, but uses her core. No deduction. Same there, kind of flared it out, really focused on keeping her torso extended as the legs came down through the layout back step out, and wow, zeroes in on the switch leap split jump.
Here's Stanford now to the floor. Bernard, some changes just coming in for the Cardinal. That order on your screen correct. Props to our crew here.
The momentum.
We just submitted some notices.
Building for Williams in the anchor. Oh, unfortunate, has to pike down and takes the step back, but that was the only deduction I saw. She's having a great day. And all Brendan Nolt wants to do is dance with somebody. She'll have to do it solo here. Solid through the double pike. And originally slated as an exhibition, Stanford's shaken this up a bit. So again, that depth that we talk about throughout these teams. Whoever's warming up well makes it into a competitive lineup. They want to go with who's ready on the day.
Kimberly Smith to the vault for Arizona State.
Watch this big power, rises up, tiny scoot back, and unfortunate flexed feet as she comes over the top, but Kimberly Smith has the potential to be lights out in the future for ASU. They're already relying on her in a big way. Rudy from Brennan Nolt. Not the normal lift that we get there, but talked about the projection and facial expressions of Claire Dean choreographed in. Allie Mozette, a big part of that happening for the Stanford program. 1.5 front layout. Layout did dip down a bit, but very clean exercise throughout the tumbling dance. Brennan Nolt will be missed in this floor lineup. She has a few more goes as the postseason looms.
When there's a shuffle made that close to the start, is that daunting for the athletes to prep to move into a different order?
Like we stay ready, they stay ready. It is another reality of gymnastics, and it's just, you go in with that understanding that, of course, you want, for the team's sake, the best athletes to be up, out, and ready to go.
Falouche there on bars, and now MJ Frazier on beam. So we'll hold on bars for a moment and move to beam here with Frazier.
Frazier was huge with this exercise on Friday. Williams opened the door a little too much, both on the dismount position and the landing. Unfortunate there, because up on the apparatus, she was phenomenal. So 9.825, still very usable, respectable number from Williams. Watch this, releve position, holds it, kicks out. Oh yes. Falouche mounting up to high bar, misses that first handstand as MJ Frazier does the front aerial. Layout back step out, the extension through her legs on both of those skills. Done with intention, intentional extension. Misses the full pirouette as well for San Jose State. This is, for better or worse, their lowest ranked event nationally, so it'll be gutsy performances getting them through. Nice angle there as you see that back foot rises up, actually obstructs the back of her head, so you know it's at that level. For MJ Frazier, needs to absorb through her knees on this 1.5. Critical here, gets it. Best routine MJ Frazier has done all year. What an undeniable routine for Cal.
Just building through that finish. That's clutch from Frazier. We'll await that score. Now Sienna Robinson to the floor.
Nolt before her with the 9.85. Coach Tabitha Yin earlier in the year talked about Sienna being happy as a person and a gymnast, translating out on the competition floor. Again, we talked about her coming into 3 events this year. Opening pass, double tuck, great angles. You see her knees glued together throughout the 2 saltos. This is Emily White on the right side of your screen. It'll be your Yurchenko full. That's exactly how you want to do it for the Sun Devils. 1.5 for any straddle jump for Sienna Robinson.
And then we'll see Gregoire to follow. So that was White that just went will await her score to come in.
Zeroed in on the landing. Great Yurchenko full there. And she left everything extended through the torso. No pike down at all from White. Double pike here from Robinson. Struggling a bit today. She's a 3-pass routine, so going for that difficulty. And obviously the choreography well comprised. Dips it to finish. Not how she wanted to end that exercise, and especially rebound after a fall on beam. Here we go, Catherine Waymiller, straddled Jaeger. Best form and extension we've seen from the Spartans so far in this exercise. Spoke too soon, breaks in the pack salto, somehow keeps it moving. Like we said, gutsy performance.
Abby Scanlon up now for Cal.
One of those seniors who's found her way into this lineup. Great double layout from Waymiller and tries to dig in those heels. Shoulders drift back a bit too much. One step backwards. Here we go for Scanlon. What a story. So often in this senior class, it's the all-arounders doing 4 events week over week over week, but back there in the shadows are athletes like Abby Scanlon, contributing in major ways to this team, waiting for that opportunity. Her opportunity came this season, and she has delivered time and again. Solid through the series, as well as the switch half split, excuse me.
Made her debut at NC State and has been locked into the beam rotation ever since.
Zeroes in 1.5, tiny hop forward, and that is phenomenal for Abby Scanlon. Remember, this is her first competitive performance, so not as many reps under her belt, making it happen.
Now we'll go back to vault, and now here's Gregoire.
Yeah, they switched the order up, but Gregoire will bring them home. Waiting on a couple numbers to come in. 1.5 there from Gregoire. And you talk about intentional beam. That was an intentional vault. Hit the table with exactly the point of contact and rise up that you want to see. Very easily completed 1.5.
Now Terrelyn Wynn to the floor for Stanford.
Terrelyn has been in and out throughout her career and this season. We'll see what she puts out there today. Has shown the double layout before. Definitely a quick twitch athlete. Gets the double layout around with a bounce. From this angle, you can see the legs separate as well as bend. It's a dynamic display of a very difficult skill. Again, as we'll see with all of these teams today, the variety in how athletes perform, their level of comfort with choreography, match to the music. Veteran performer here for Wynn. The name of the game for her collegiate career has been getting her power under control. There's no doubt that she has the ability to complete these exercises.
Sophia Konechny now for the Spartans.
Another bounce, but very clean and tidy. Like to see the chest come up ever so slightly a bit more on that double tuck for Wynn. Solid one in the books as Konechny comes back up to the high bar. Sets up for this dismount, generating power, double layout, shy of rotation. On the apparatus, a lot to be happy with, especially with those errors and routines prior to her.
Maya Lazan now for the Bears. We're closing out beam, a couple of more competitors.
That undeniable mount sequence from Maya Lazan, former national champion on this event. It's that wolf turn under her belt as she sets up for her triple series. 2 flip-flops into a layout step out. Pay attention to the shoulders. straight up. The arms guide as she keeps her eyes on the end of the beam. You feel the energy pulsing under a hush at Haas Pavilion here. Switch leap, split leap, so crisp, so clean. Vermeil is on here, knows exactly what she needs to do, and she's one of the best in the nation at this double full. What makes it so exemplary is the lift and the rise that she allows herself to get up off the beam. She can zero in. It's perfection. And her face says it all. What a display as Lausanne bids farewell to Beam and Haas.
Love that reaction. A warm embrace from her teammates. Anna Roberts now on the floor for Stanford.
Big full in and knew exactly where she was, and it was close to the line. Sacrifices a hop forward on the landing, but great angle here to see that knee, foot, and ankle form glued together.
Roberts coming off a 9-9 Friday against Denver. Down on the farm is now Jada Mangahouse on vault for the Sun Devils.
Big push off, hangs it up in the air, separates the legs just a bit to comfortably land. Rudy there from Anna Roberts to close. This is kind of that fake out move. It's not a wolf turn, just a full pirouette. As she closes it out. Great rebound from an uncharacteristic 9-6 on balance beam in the previous rotation.
Check out the score for Maya Lausanne, 9-9-7-5.
I agree with one of the judges tonight, Craig.
And that is her best score on the year. Huge from Lausanne. As now Kaviana Jury's on the bars here, last go for San Jose State.
So well deserved, and I appreciate Jury's swinging aggressively. Arms were extended as she regrasped on that Ginger release move. First one we've seen tonight. Setting up here for the dismount. Double layout. Yeah, she's the anchor for a reason. Saving things. Right now, their total reflects that 6-7-7-5 for a multi-fall routine from Reardon, so they'll be able to erase that. Still, development work needs to be done for San Jose State on bars.
So after Lausanne turns in her best performance of the season, it's Ondina Champong to close us out.
One skill at a time, just like we saw from Lausanne. Tiny shoulder blip, I'll call it, after the switch ring opener. And another break at the hips there for Ondine. So now it's, you know, the recovery process of getting back into competitive shape, being able to execute these routines, and now it's a level of comfort. Things are still brand new for Ondine Champong this season, but as we saw a moment ago, so many picture-perfect moments, those ring positions.
Late shuffle here now, Ashley Carter to close out Stanford on the floor.
Full turn, uniquely comes late, stays up on toe, cooks it a little bit over as one shoulder led. Looking at Carter on the right side as Champong closes out, running Rudy to straddle leap. For Ondine, again, lessons to be learned. Solid 49-4 in front of her, so ability to compete freely. Still waiting for Ondine to go lights out on balance beam this season.
Carter's been part of the floor group the last 4 meets, or rather the last 3 meets, 4 including today for Stanford.
1.5 front layout. Great angle there to see that last skill rise up. Assistant coach Hallie Mosette, former UCLA great, looking on in the background. Carter closes out this rotation for Stanford.
See the low score right now for Stanford on the floor was Robinson will await Carter's number. Bears currently in front here in rotation 3.
Yeah, Champong coming in at 9.775. So again, not firing on all of the cylinders available there, but a 49.4. They'll move confidently into the postseason with that number on balance beam.
And again, the postseason coming up quick. How often are teams in a position today where they feel like they have their group set for the postseason? Will there be a lot of movement between now and conference championship time?
Never say never, Greg.
Yeah.
However, you do want to create consistency where you can. So that expectation of, all right, even if, you know, maybe 1 or 2 people are on the cusp and there are 1 or 2 people ready to come in, that's known at this point throughout the lineups. What you can't anticipate are those things that, you know, are just strictly fluke things happening. So it is what it is, part of life, part of gymnastics. And we talked about it at the beginning. You just got to stay ready, roll with the punches, especially in the moment.
So our scores after 3 rotations, Cal building on their lead. Stanford, ASU, and then San Jose State. We'll talk with Stanford head coach Tabitha Yim when we return. We'll step aside and return after these messages to Berkeley.
You ready?
We've got a great matchup in front of us.
This team has been so fun to watch.
Beautifully done. Like I'm levitating sky high.
That's the momentum we're talking about.
Sunshine. Yeah, I feel
They have been unbelievable.
everybody's
Take this conference to another level.
fun with it. Living like a rock star. Take off like a rocket ship. You know I'm loving it.
Here's a look back at what Stanford has done thus far. Excellent beginning on the bars for the Cardinal, and they are trying to keep pace with the Cal Bears. And now we'll welcome in their head coach in her 8th season, Tabitha Yim. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach, let's look back first at that first rotation. Your team comes out strong on the bars. What went so well for the Cardinal?
Yeah, again, shout out to the full staff. You know, Associate Head Coach Vince Morrow has been doing an incredible job preparing them on that event, and we've been very consistent in practice, so it was really nice to see those little things come out, the handstand, the form on-bar work, and then especially the sticks today. I think it was nice to start off super strong, get after those landings, and really set the tone.
Putting that stick to good use here in Haas Pavilion. Want to talk about the benefit of a 2-meet weekend, obviously a challenge, but when you can travel in the Bay Area, a great opportunity to kind of reduce some of that strain. How's your team responded so far?
Yeah, I think it's such a great opportunity. You know, it really mimics the postseason format, and being able to do a quad meet, the double duel here at Cal. Obviously, so much respect for Cal's program, and so it really does prepare us, and it's such a great opportunity that we have here at the end of the season before we head into postseason competition.
One more rotation left. It's going to be vault, and you talked early in the season about not necessarily going all out for those sticks, but now we're into crunch time. Talk about what you're looking to see specifically on landings from your team on vault.
Yeah, we talk a lot about just being our normal, and they've done a really good job. Hopefully you could see the growth from the beginning of the season. Like I said, we've been working it in practice, and so really wanting to hone in on those stuck landings or minimizing to half a tenth, hopping in the right direction. But also such a great opportunity to end on that event, close this meet out strong, so I'm excited to see what they put out there.
Coach, thanks for the time. Good luck on vault.
Thank you. Go Card!
All right, Tabitha Yim joining us here as we look at their NQS breakdown. And Evan, the importance of what we're seeing here and what they're trying to accomplish today.
So better your best, or at least do better than your lowest at this point. So there are more than a few ways to slice NQS, but for Stanford, I would say if they're, again, up over that 197 mark, that's going to be a positive direction for them to be able to influence the NQS. Correct?
Some big moments so far today from the Cardinals, starting off with Claire Dean.
Claire Dean set the table so nicely for Stanford, projecting out solid landings, exactly what you want in a leadoff performer.
From Dean to Carter.
They're newer in this floor lineup, but The judges appreciating her execution, taking those straddle positions to a very nice pinnacle, and the closer here, 1.5 front layout, dances right out of it for her ending of the Stanford floor rotation.
And then speaking of bettering your best, Frazier sets a nice score, but then watch out for Lazan.
It was great, almost a balance beam fairy tale, if you will, through 5 athletes. Frazier, great look here. Look at that back leg rise up, and she did the best job she's done all year in staying confident in that landing position.
And to Maya Lazan.
You heard what I saw, and it was perfection. 9975 the result. It was just methodical, intentional, beautiful, punctuated by that double full off the end. Emotions running high in a beautiful way.
Just the way you want to deliver on Senior Day. Maya Lazan closing out her Haas career in fine fashion. A timeout on the way. We'll come back with our final rotation.
Why are we walking so slowly?
It makes this scene feel more cinematic.
I get that. It's just maybe not the best time to walk in slow motion.
It's the only time to walk in slow motion.
Some might ask, what's the hurry? But if it's the difference between getting McDonald's breakfast and settling for a Big Mac, well, run like the wind.
Sit in the hip like whenever you tip that mug got to sit in the hip like whenever
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
And Cal in front. Stanford led after our first. Bears battling back with strong performances in rotations 2 and 3. And now looking to close it out here as they head to the floor. This is where they've been so good, Evan, and quite literally slamming the door on meets.
Indeed, and it's punctuated by every athlete in the lineup. They all have 9-9 plus potential, and Maya Lazan, if we weren't on 10 watch on beam, which still not over that one, should definitely be on 10 watch on floor exercise, where she's gotten a perfect score already this season.
See if the judges can make amends here in the final rotation, and a look at the overall floor leaders. Some pretty impressive company, some Olympians there in the mix alongside Maya Lazan with a 9.955 as we move now to Stanford on vault, and Kendra Chang will get us started. We'll see her for the first time today.
Kendra Chang's been in and out of this vault lineup. Freshman compatriot Alana Walker probably has more power and distance, but sometimes struggles controlling the landing. So as Coach Yim mentioned, Kendra's probably a better option in zeroing in and minimizing those landing deductions. Tiny hop back and presses in, stays settled into the landing of the Yurchenko form.
Bars, and Kayla Lee is up for Arizona State.
Did such a remarkable job leading off on balance beam. She'll look to replicate that, but unfortunately misses that first handstand right off the bat. Nice piked Jaeger into the overshoot. Doesn't maintain equal distribution of pressure against the bar through her arms, but that's a nice display of a full pirouette into a tidy double tuck, but short of rotation. So some big blips early on for Kayla Lee.
Here's Marissa Ashton, a near stumble there. She's earned Mountain West Beam Specialist honors, so this is her specialty.
Yep, saves the series there. Saw one shoulder dip down and one leg come up as well. Short of 180, significantly short of 180 on the switch half. Borderline credit coming into question.
Kyan Mayhew to the floor for Cal as they get their rotation started.
We talked about the potential of 9-9 plus across all 6 slots. Kyan has really settled into this new lead-off position as we see Ashton zero in on the gainer full dismount. Great control on the running front double full punch pike from Mayhew. movements are matching the tempo of the music, bringing something new and interesting in the choreography department. Co-head coach Elizabeth Crandall Hall also looks after that for the team. Ring position to the switch half, really putting emphasis on making sure that back leg rises up to achieve the 180. Brennan Knowles in the 2 slot. It's a full-on back pike off, hop and a step, so multiple landing deductions, not optimized as Tabitha Yim wanted. They'll look to rebound from there as Mayhew does a 1.5 Granny stag leap to close. And right before her last pass, I think she's a little off center, took a little bit of an awkward step. Obviously, you know, something you can work through, but I think that was part of her facial expressions to her teammates there. Again, everything under control, but something to consider.
Greg Wire to the bars now for Arizona State. Scores for Chang and Lee coming in. Our overall scores, lower right of your screen. Updating as we go.
Half pirouette into the ginger, and that was a rough regrasp. Keeps it moving. But again, Arizona State in this early part of the lineup, not achieving the handstands that they need to. That one included. Great form as she builds momentum through the Giants, and Greg Wire has a great example of a double layout. That's optimal position and no additional deduction.
Devin Volush now on the beam for San Jose State.
Volush slightly overcooking the full turn to begin her exercise. Uses her midsection to keep things stable. And talk about stability. Right down the beam, flip-flop layout. Soft through the knees and ankles. Building breaths into the choreography. You can see it's a formulaic approach. A skill of yesteryear, we don't see it enough. Punch front, she's right down. I appreciate that she didn't absorb overly through her knees. Got her chest up quickly. Keeps it moving.
It's a 9-9 for Kyan Mayhew. It's one of her better results on the year, and now CJ Kenneke.
Kenneke will do an exact first pass as Kyan, and that was the best one she's done all season. Really allowed herself the patience to bounce up into the front double full rather than trying to cover a lot of ground. Sometimes it got out of control and she would have to condense that front pike. She let it fly very freely. Volush we saw ending on balance beam 1.5. Nice close for her. Kenneke got an early opportunity in this floor lineup, perhaps unexpected, not for lack of ability, but she's found her way in, proving to be a consistent contributor for the Bears in this second slot.
Louis Soma prepares for vault for Stanford.
Great control and lift from Kenneke. Yurchenko full from Soma, and you saw the bounce back and then the break at her hip. So landing deductions don't always look like a step or a hop. It can be an additional body movement, even the upper body or the torso. So again, not that level of optimization that Tabitha Yim is looking at, but CJ Kenneke, great closure for her exercise. Did that 1.5 Barani to a straddle jump. Didn't travel at all other than straight up and down, exactly how you want to see it.
Smith on the bars now for Arizona State.
Launching to a floaty straddled Jaeger.
Nakasu now for San Jose State.
Best bars composition in terms of skills and aggressive handstands. Form, all of the above for Kim Smith. And zeroes in. I saw a tiny shift of her foot, but nothing significant on that double layout. She's going to be a star in the future. Makasu following 9.675. And that's an example, again, of controlling the dismount and confusing yourself as to what just happened there. I can't quite explain that. Sometimes you're telling your body to do one thing and it simply refuses. You get caught up on the mat, settled into it, did the right thing. Could have been very out of hand, but definitely unexpected for Makasu in the third slot.
Senior showcase on tap here. 3 of the next 4 for Cal on the floor seniors, starting with Maddie Williams.
And I would say that 9.875 is an insurance score from Kinnicky in the second slot. Now these senior athletes and veterans like Frazier can really go out there and perform. Front layout into the Rudy, well rotated for Williams. On a Paula Gutierrez, Yurchenko 1.5 has stuck it a handful of times this season. Today, not one of them. Significant hop forward, keeps it under control, rotated nicely. Soft knees through the last half rotation. A little abrupt on the double wolf, as sometimes is the case for Maddie Williams. But I think comparatively in exercises this season, that first pass we saw, best she's done all season.
Haas waiting on the bars for Arizona State.
She was waiting and they were ready. We saw the real-time reaction. The flag was up. Sometimes you zone out a little bit to prepare yourself as she gets underway. Maddie Williams keeps the party going. Manga Haas, line change. Ike Jaeger. Maddie Williams, 1.5, hangs the front layout up. I would say a little bit outside of her normal presentation, but makes it happen. Again, staying with it, and the emotions on her face as the team embraces her. Speaking of emotions, it's elation for Jada Mangahass. Nice routine following the momentum of Kimberly Smith's 9.85 before her.
And you couldn't see it, but off camera, Ella Cesario took herself out of that embrace, starting to get misty-eyed, said, I have to go next. I have to be ready to focus on this.
And that's the reality that you have to deal with. Again, knowing that many things can be true. You can be thrilled. Bittersweet moments will present themselves, but it's using that momentum, using that emotion to your advantage, as we've seen her do on 2 events so far tonight.
And now that we've gotten to the final rotation, that emotion started to hit deeper, right, Evan?
You can feel it in Haas. You can feel it from your teammates. Way Miller, again, having to deal with that energy shifting up and down, but handles it well through her back handspring layout, step out series. Switch leap into the split half, right into the beat jump. Much better display of nearing the 180 on that switch half element. You don't see that too often.
So Maddie Williams dropping below Kinnicky on her score.
Yeah, that double wolf was, like I said, a bit abrupt, and then the last pass kind of hung up, wasn't rotating quite at the velocity that she expected, but kept it under control. Again, 9.85. They can work with that.
Here's Cesario now. Another senior in her final meet here in Haas. And Anna Roberts on vault.
As you mentioned, defending national champion with this Yurchenko 1.5. And Ella Cesario, the upgrade for her this season is the full twisting double tuck. Roberts on the right. 1 hop forward. Great performance there. Ella needs to set it up. Sets it way up, and the shoulders just get behind the hips, and she scrambles to get it under control. That's the reality, and Ella Cesario has been optimal in her own regard across bars, beams, so floor maybe exhales a little bit too preemptively. Nice position on the switch ring half. Aggressive handstand from Emily White up to Van Leeuwen. Giant half, wow, takes that to the limit. Not quite vertical on the overshoot, unfortunately, but perform in the way she does gymnastics. Effortless. Floaty double layout, scoots back. Cesaria closes her time in. Haas on floor out with the 1.5 front layout. Not the first pass she wanted, but does not diminish the moment for Ella Cesario.
Madison Kirsch up next on the beam, getting towards the end of rotation 4 here. Scores still coming in.
Talked about her Yurchenko tucked 1.5 and what that energy, that difficulty pursuing those big skills and doing them consistently brings to the San Jose State program. Same on beam. Anodi. We do not see that nearly enough in collegiate gymnastics. One, because it's very difficult, but the other, you just go to that run-of-the-mill back handspring, back step out. Amazing variety of skills from Kirsch.
Anna Roberts' score on vault coming in at 9.9, so that's the high water mark for Stanford.
You saw the 1.5 tucked on vault. She uses that again to her advantage as her beam dismount zeroes in and sticks it for Madison Kirsch.
Oh, so often, Evan, it's come down to this, the end of a meet, and it's Frazier and Lazan back-to-back to try and finish things off for the Bears, and here we are again on senior day.
Familiar territory, and you know, like you said, it's happened before and it'll happen again. But these competitors are well aware that, you know, stay ready.
Terrell Wynn up.
Yurchenko, 1.5 for Terrell Wynn. We talked about the control, the emphasis, the effort throughout her career to get that under her belt. Her best landing on this event all season long. She's got to feel good with that heading into postseason as a potential.
Now Sarah Clark to finish out the day for Arizona State.
Here we go. Sarah Clark mounting up to the high bar. Aggressive first handstand, blind change. Extending through the feet, ankles, toes. Straddle Jaeger. Floaty pack salto, maintains good pressure with her arms. The feet did come apart through the pack salto. Let's see how she sets up here. Last handstand is the best one of the routine. Double A. Hop back for Sarah Clark.
Now MJ Frazier, the way this is broken out, it'll be a Cal floor show to close things out.
Saw one double layout from Terrell Wynn earlier. MJ Frazier, great control and power. From this angle, you see a little bit of softness and separation through her legs. The landing of the dismount, though, so confident.
Titus, meanwhile, on the beam to finish things for San Jose State. Good score coming in soon for Terrell Wynn as well. 9.925, that equals her career best.
We talk about the 180 position, all of those straddle and split positions. MJ Frazier just checked 3 boxes at once through that combination. The Titus switch half into the split jump. Frazier added this pass back in. The front through. She'll set up here, zeroes in. Great control on the double tuck. Gets the Bears back on track. Gainer back pike off the end, flexed feet for Gustitis, but nails the landing. Talking about optimizing and minimizing.
Hugs all around for MJ Frazier. One more to go. Maya Lazan ready to close things out, the senior on senior day here in Berkeley. And MJ Frazier once again, a strong effort and sets it up for Lazan to finish things here for Cal.
And Greg, you saw it on Friday, but I think that routine we saw from Lazan that went 9.925 on Friday was actually better and more controlled than the one she went 10 on earlier this season. So sometimes it depends on the days, the energy, the momentum, what the judges are feeling. But I think we've seen again and again and again from Maya. She is in control and executing not only the dance, but also the leaps, jumps, turns, and tumbling to the fullest extent possible.
I'd say we should get you a judge's blazer, but I don't want you to give up this jacket.
There you go. If it fits, it fits.
Let's look at our all-around leaders. Maya Lazan, a little teary-eyed already. I've been trying to shake off the emotions or perhaps ride with them here. You look at her stats, among the very best in the country.
She's meant so much to this program. This is the cherry on top, even before the routine has begun.
You see the scores already. Cal in the driver's seat. One more time inside house. It's Maya Lazan.
She's going to do this first pass right into the corner where co-head coach Liz Crandall-Howell is standing. Justin Howell feeling it in the background there, cheering her on as Maya comes. Front double full, front tuck. Nice control there on the landing. Ever so slightly skewed to one side, but the movement, the quality keeps it going. Taking this moment to just, like I said, perform to the full extent. The switch half ring into the split. MJ Frazier with a 9.9 before her. Looking to grow up the 9.75 of Cesario. Great angle of this 1.5 into a front full. Look at the emotion for Maya Lazan. Bids farewell to Haas, but leaves an impression forever. This is what it's about, folks. Years and years, days in and out of the gym, you spend with your teammates for moments like this. Great to see gymnasts able to end their career on their own terms, raising a program to new heights, to new levels, setting up future generations of Bears to come. Maya Lazan and all her senior compatriots embody that for Cal.
I told you the first group in Cal history to win 4 straight conference titles, and if you wondered about the bond of these women and their staff, you're seeing it here firsthand.
And it's been over, more than a decade of that intentional curation, not only in getting the right personnel, getting the right athletes in place, but creating these routines that resonate throughout the nation and are set apart in a way that only Cal Gymnastics can be recognized for.
And she finishes it off with a 9.95. We know she can deliver a 10, so that was the ceiling, right? There's nowhere higher to go, but puts together another stellar performance here on this senior day. And Cal continues to roll, Evan. Now 18 straight wins. They are on a heater here going into the ACC tourney.
Indeed, and that 49.475 event total to close. Like we mentioned even on Friday, seeing some dips in their lineups. These athletes are still being tested to rise to the occasion. Nothing's as cut and dry as just, the 9.95, 9.95, 9.95 that we may see from some other programs. But Cal, I feel like, is not compromising on the way that they know gymnastics should be done. It's beautiful, it's extended, it's secure and stable. And when maybe one athlete doesn't perform to that full extent, they're able to toe the line and really tap into that depth that they've curated over time.
That dramatic run last year to finish #2 in the land. Everyone sees this squad coming. They know exactly how good the Cal Bears are. We'll come back to Berkeley, wrap things up, hear from co-head coach Justin Howell, and more when we return after this. The Cal Bears flying high on Senior Day. The emotions there, the results there as well. What a special day for the 5 seniors as they close out their career in Haas with a big victory here in their second quad meet in this weekend. Alongside Evan Heider, Greg Meskel here with you. Evan, everything Cal could have wanted, they accomplished today.
They capitalized on controlling what they could control. They used the emotion to their advantage, and it was great to see.
Now let's bring in co-head coach for the Cal Bears here. Justin, thanks for joining us. What a day for your team. How did you balance all the emotions, all the excitement with also wanting to put your best foot forward?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we strategically do this meet this time of the year so that we can really prep them for the postseason. And the goal is to have 2 great nights and ultimately come out on night 2 and even do better, which we did tonight. You know, it's senior night. There's lots of emotions, but we've got a lot of work to do. And so we just talked with the seniors about really enjoying the moment tonight in Haas. The energy was electric, great crowd. And I think they definitely took advantage of it. And so now we put this one behind us. We celebrate for a minute, and then we put it behind us, and we move on to the rest of the season.
Justin, this year, maybe more so than any other, you've been able to have the ability to bring people in and out of lineups, test in new and different ways. Talk about how your team has responded to that and the momentum that those tests carry for the postseason.
Yeah, we've had the opportunity to test our depth quite a bit, and we certainly did over these last two nights. It's amazing, you know, it gives us a lot of comfort to know that we have depth, and we have more that nobody's even seen, and we see it in practice every week. So it puts us in a good spot should we need to call on some other people, and, you know, I wish we had more opportunities as we head in the postseason to give those folks some more chances, but we got to test that tonight, and I was really pleased with how everybody took advantage of those opportunities, and we'll have confidence as we move into the postseason.
Talking about confidence, if there's one person you can put that behind, it's usually Maya Lazan. Talk about her performances tonight and the ability to, you know, just kind of roll with the emotional punches.
I mean, Maya Lazan competes with freedom and joy every single weekend. I mean, she's absolutely such an energetic and fun performer. She's incredibly consistent, but she puts the work in the gym, you know, so we see it, her teammates see it, everybody trusts her, and so when she comes out here, she can just really relax and have a great time, and she does it week after week, and, you know, we're certainly going to miss her next year.
What's the message looking ahead now, ACC, and then, of course, NCAAs? How do you get this group ready for those ultimate experiences?
Rest and recovery is going to be key, especially after this weekend. We turn around and leave on Thursday to go to the ACC championships, so we need to find a balance there. You know, but we just keep putting the work in that we've been doing in the gym, you know, focusing on the little details and techniques that are continuing to help them get one day better. And the exciting thing about this team is we still haven't hit our full ceiling and potential, and so we have a lot more in the tank, and that's a great place to be as we head into the postseason.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. Congrats on the win, and best of luck in the postseason.
Thank you. Go Bears.
All right, co-head coach Justin Howell joining us here as Cal moves to 20-2, their 18th straight win, and they shine bright on this senior day. 5 big seniors and deliver in a major way. That's going to wrap it up for us here this afternoon. For Evan Heider, our entire crew, I'm Greg Meskel. To watch this entire duel on replay, as well as all your ACC events on ACC Network Extra, download the ESPN app. So long from Berkeley, where the Bears win it. A senior day special. Postseason is up next.